Hi folks, welcome to the 8 Regents tournament. So we have game 6 today for you between Baratheon and Lannister, and unfortunately, as promised, there's going to be a bit of a gloomy atmosphere today because Lannister has already won. 4 wins for them, only 1 for Baratheon from the first 5 games. And today we have Peter playing against Geddes, and a chance to join an elite group of players who have won in all 3 rounds so far. And he is playing quite an interesting deck today. Game has just started. As you can see, it's Baratheon Free Companies. It's a deck that is not really known. It only has a few games on the Jousting Pavilion in the last year or so against Lannister trading with Qohor. This also is not really a known deck. Lannister is superb with Alliance, as you saw last night when Ryan Wood played it. But yeah, playing Qohor without the extra banner, of course, you have great Lannister attachments like Sir Pounce, but missing those from the banner usually would be Banner Stag, I think is the strongest one. But we'll see what Paul can do here with this deck. Possibly the Lannister team also thinks this is not worth much and is playing it in a match they've already won, or maybe they're trying to do something with this. And we have Fast Bob on start against fortunately pretty good setup here for Lannister, so we do have an attachment, and we have the annoying Gunther, who of course gets rid of the hand really nicely, and he is a great target for that Sir Pounce. For instance, Gunther with Sir Pounce and Casterly Rock in play can get rid of the hand pretty quickly. Okay, we have trading with the Pentoshi against the Maiden, and Peter is going to go first here. So lots of gold for both players. And I've promised that I will make a note every time Peter forgets to use free companies, so if I see the faction card still standing when the dominance phase ends, we'll mention that, hopefully, if I notice it. It's yeah, if you play the same deck many times, of course you get used to it, but free companies is a pretty rarely played agenda at this point, I would say, especially in Baratheon, so easy to forget why you have it in the first place. And Vargo, the best bestow card, with 2 gold on him, and he can spread some of that gold around if needed. And Bob gets a Warhammer, so hopefully he can target that annoying Gunther. And we have Antler Man. Now this is a card that we don't see that often, but I've played against it, and it's surprisingly efficient, especially if you have more than one. When any power is moved around, you can grab, for instance, with 2 of these as your chuds, you can grab 2 gold, and it's pretty good economy. And okay, spending the Iron Bank, but then free companies put some gold back. And we have that Stormland's Fiefdom, so 1 gold turns into 2 if this is used when Bob gains his power. If he gains it, of course, we can see if Lannister manages to put something huge into play now. And 10 gold, but still using the King's Road. And here is Tywin. Yeah, I'm sure this gold will be spent here. It's not very efficient to use the King's Road and keep 7 gold, so Tywin's strength should go down. Draw. Put on Bob. 2 attachments. One more would be nice. And here comes Bronn as well. A great safeguard to keep, for instance, Tywin in play. We also have Tommen, who could get obnoxious if Gunther manages to intimidate, if he manages to do his challenges. That's why I think it's important to target him with the intimidate here. And let's just see what Vargo Hout can do. I think he can gain renown or bestow. He could gain intimidate from Robert as well. Okay, so that solves the problem. Now Song So Sweet played on Robert to put him into the challenge. And now it's going to be 1/6 and able to intimidate Gunther or Tywin. I would personally just go for Gunther here. Be done with him. Going for Tywin, but now if intrigue is considered, then Gunther can get Sir Pounce. If intrigue is considered, if Lannister manages to win a challenge and get Sir Pounce on him, he can do intrigue and military. That was my thinking. Still a chance though to do more challenges, and Vargo can himself gain intimidate from Robert. And yeah, this forces Lannister to defend. Otherwise, the intimidate will happen. So yeah, seems like Baratheon should pull this off. Defending with everything. Nightmares, okay. Just to get the claim. It's 5/5. And now I think Robert could do military here. He will concede the Fever Dreams draw. But military with guaranteed intimidate on Tommen, and he gets another trigger, so unopposed renown and his trigger. And Baratheon has had a very strong round. Unfortunately, just missing another Antlerman trigger to win dominance as well. So stops at 7, halfway there almost. And the character that is well protected. And now to win initiative, I suppose, but the maiden played on the other side already. I think Peter plays the maiden himself, but it should lose against Lannister's plot. Yeah, so just going for you win or you die. And grabbing the extra gold in taxation already. And now with the Antlerman, it's possible in theory also to get gold when supporting the faith has already resolved. Yeah, if something renowned comes into play. Peter could push for the win, and here we go. Yeah, just grabbing that gold from Vargo. Yeah, supporting the Fate is going to take all of this gold, so make the calculation here with all the bestow stuff and the reducer, of course. So begging brother. At this point you don't even care about Gunther that much. But you do care about Tommen though, so keep a card in hand, hopefully. Okay. Bonifer the Good. Each non-neutral the 7, that would be himself at the moment. He has insight. And okay, Sweet Sleep is... yeah. Gets rid of his Fever Dreams, which Qohor can trade, but more importantly gets rid of that Intimidate from Warhammer. That should be pretty good. Unfortunately, no claim, because there's nothing on the faction card. We have Myrcella, who should be okay in future rounds if there are any. Currently cards are 1-1, and we have Zolo the Fat, who could potentially take gold from Baratheon if Antler Man is used, which I don't see how it can be here. Okay, so what to do? Vargo can gain renown. That means Robert Vargo and Fickle Bannerman can attack in the power challenge. They would gain 3 for renown, 1 for Robert. That would be 11, but not quite strong enough to win the game. So Peter could do the other challenges as well for some defenders here. Let's check the keywords again. So there is Insight on Bonifer. Currently with You Win or You Die, not that great. Stealth with Tyrion. Okay, no, attachments is not going to help. And of course we have Renown. And we don't have the Intimidate anymore. Warhammer is not going to work with Sweet Sleep. Blanking it. That's the one he really wanted, actually. Because now he's not going to win the game, and then the Qohor stuff will start. Although Sweet Sleep, dangerous to trade. Fever Dreams is tradable, and then only Widow's Wail currently in play. Cancelling Tyrion makes sense. And getting rid of that last card makes it actually impossible for Lannister to have Myrcella standing, and impossible to even gain any unopposed bonus with Tommen in play. So maybe Tommen will be claimed here. Is there any card draw? I guess with Fever Dreams, in theory, if Sweet Sleep is lost before Fever Dreams is. No, does it have any gold? I think this gold is on Robert actually, so not sure if there is gold and I'm just not seeing it, but I think it's empty. Okay, so going for the military instead, because you can't steal power and you can gain renown just the same. And keeping Tommen in play. Okay. Could do a power challenge with Bonifer. I was going to suggest. No reason to defend stuff if you're not going to win on defense, because Tommen blocks the unopposed currently. And I don't think Bonifer can really defend anything, so we have Tyrion. No, we have Gunther doing the intrigue challenge here. Increasing Tywin's strength now. And 2 gold, maybe that was another one to be cancelled with the Begging Brother, because now there is a chance to also do some bestow, in theory, if another Fever Dreams comes in. Yeah, no reason to defend it. No threats, even losing by 5. Shira Errol. Bob is protected anyway, so she's not really needed. And now let's see what Qohor does. Now we only have Lannister attachments, of course, and neutral ones. And cost 1, and Sweet Sleep even is cost 0, so that can't be traded for anything useful that I can think of. So Widow's Wail or Fever Dreams for something like Lady Whiskers, Sir Pounds, Milk of the Poppy. Maybe Seized on the Iron Bank, Milk on the Begging Brother or Robert. Paid Off can do work, but Supporting the Fate is gone now. And it's not going to work against Fiefdom with Antlerman in play in future rounds. And Bodyguard. Now if Morghulis is played, Tywin and Robert are saved, of course. And then the game starts again with both players on 0 cards. Lannister has some filter here. Both have good economy. And Jingle Bell can search for something that I'm guessing does not exist. Okay, what do you kill here? Definitely not Jingle Bell and not the Begging Brother, because he can cancel Bronn. Maybe the Reducer. Yeah, good call. Actually, not gaining any unopposed power works against Peter now, because he will be on 11 and then cannot push for the win if there is no power to steal. There is some potentially with the fiefdom, and if Morghulis is played, of course, he is down to 9, and maybe less if he loses on defense and in the power challenge now. Okay, dominance calculation, so it would be 7 at the moment against 4. So this one, again, Tommen blocks the unopposed, whether it's defended or not, makes no difference, and no way to win. Dominance for Baratheon. And 3 companies putting gold on Vargo. Let's read it again. So, card without gold or a mercenary character, that means can go on the Iron Bank, which should survive potential Morghulis. Unlike, of course, the characters that are currently in play. So currently no missed triggers, and may finish that way if the next round is the last. And it is going on the Begging Brother now. It's going on Vargo. Okay. Spoiler, no Morghulis next round. Wildfire Assault is an option, but he's gone very wide on the board, which makes me think that that's not the plan. I think he's just going to try to equalize by winning initiative and trying to do something by going first. No Intimidate that I can think of in Lannister as far as attachments are concerned. There is a character, of course, with Intimidate, but I don't think you can get it from attachments. And now there is plenty of power, so if Peter goes first and wins with Fickle Bannerman and Robert, could be game over. Grabbing some extra gold in taxation. Okay, so this is going to Paul is going to have to Harry's result first, makes sense. But what does he do? Tywin is so expensive. You can keep 3 characters, I guess, with Tyrion, Myrcella and Bronn, something like that. Or you could keep 4 with Myrcella, Gunthor, Tommen and Bronn. And then if Robert is kept, he can survive with Begging Brother and Jingle Bell, or Fickle Bannerman and Jingle Bell. Yeah, nothing better that I can see. So good call to use the Antlerman when he did. And now the question is, does Peter... Tywin kept. Tywin and just the 1 character. Does Peter sack anything? For the extra card you could not get a character, and then Jingle Bell clearly is better. Okay, risky. So 3 cards in hand, and he needs something. Because Lannister, of course, has the gold mine, so more chance of getting stuff. And one character, one card in hand, which could be an ambush card or it could not. And the standing gold mine. Tywin on 13. Neither. Ango, of course, is turned on. And keeping the card, so Myrcella currently will have to kneel if she does intrigue. Tywin can do it, and then she stands for the power challenge. Military could just claim Bob and then push on. Ah, here we go. Best possible card. Now, Ango could do it himself without kneeling. Unfortunately, no Casterly Rock, so just the ones, and then you can trade it for a different attachment. Isle of Ravens, I think, standing. I'm not sure if Paul used it last round, but it can get you the milk back if there's only one. Like I said earlier, if this was an alliance deck, of course, you get other stuff, and Stag is particularly good because Disputed Claim is a source of renown potentially, and Warhammer a source of Intimidate. And that's all you need, and you can't quite get that with the Lannister cards. Okay, nothing to do with that privileged position. It was going to be discarded, and it cancels Isle of Ravens in the hope that there is only one milk. Yeah, Jan of Slint is the one with Intimidate. Fortunately, he's not the perfect character to have any attachments on him. Possible to get neutral characters with Intimidate, but not that great. You have Tormund, who has the Wildling synergies. You have Lady Stoneheart, which you are not going to play with cards like Tywin, of course. I'm guessing we saw Jaime earlier, so Cersei might also be in this deck. Okay, so what do we have now for Sir Pounce? And we do have the milk. On the Fickle Bannerman. Not, of course, on Robert, because still has that Sweet Sleep to cancel his Intimidate. Yeah, Sweet Sleep works both ways. And unfortunately, on this occasion, it doesn't work out perfectly. It did some good, but then it stops the rest of the plan. And yeah, Kingsgate now, of course, very easy to sack because the Iron Bank is the source of economy. Okay, going to defend now. Okay, let's see, so 12 on power. I'm just doing it with the two characters. That's going to force Tywin to defend if Paul doesn't want to lose this one. And then Robert is free to do military if Tywin doesn't defend. Of course, it's 2 power. And Peter is just happy with that. And again, he had it and top decked with Kingsgate as well. Yeah, that could be game winning. Let's see how close it gets him. Is it enough? It's exactly 12-12. And we have the Robert trigger, and now Robert does the military for double renown. It's not unopposed. And Paul wins dominance, so keeps him on 14. 2 attachments though, so protected from the pointy end, taking all the power off him. Yeah, what a top deck that is. I don't know if there are any songs that can take this back to hand even. The Infection one is a Cask of Ale, which is not a bad event actually. I've played it a few times recently and surprisingly efficient. But not in this type of deck, I don't think. And neutral ones you could get Last of the Giants, maybe not in this deck. um, the one that takes characters from the dead pile on a Misty Morn is reasonably useful in any deck, and of course off to Galtown. Yes, Sweet Sleep. Milking Grommer would have been really, really good to get rid of all of this power, but in the rounds where Peter went first, so much damage would have been done with the Warhammer though. So did some good and some not so great stuff. Double supporting the fight, and now neither player has a way to generate more gold, and important for Peter to win initiative. So I'm guessing for Paul to win initiative, I was going to say. I'm guessing 2 is the best Peter has left. He had this one to win it in round 3, and then or round 2 even, and then nothing with high initiative. And this time Milk shuffled back. Sweet Sleep unfortunately cannot be traded for a Milk. And so what did he marshal? Water Dancer's Song. And Tyrion back. Okay, so he does work against supporting the Faith. But now, of course, what can you do with that 2 gold? Unless you're going to play Fever Dreams again, it's not that useful. Had too much on the opponent's side, I think. Peter should take it from here. Still survived that Fickle Bannerman trigger, still has the 1 gold, although now he's milked anyway. He was going to survive it last round if Paul attacked. Yeah, so Free company is one of the agendas that is on paper not so great for Baratheon, but Peter was kind of reluctant. He wanted to play it competitively because he found this deck that worked pretty well. It was okay in testing. And yeah, given how this one has gone, maybe he will be disappointed to use it here. But the other agendas should be stronger still for Baratheon. But nice to see Free company is doing some work. Yeah, paid off with supporting the Fate is the interaction. I've used it myself in Alliance banner stack because it also had Delena, so didn't even need this interaction with supporting the Fate. Delena just stops the stand. Character is knelt, and even if you pay, it's not going to stand again. So this was game 6. Let me show you once again if you've missed it at the start. Lannister already won their 4 games, so it's 4-2 now, and the last game is tomorrow afternoon at 6 European time, Central European time, that is, between Corteos from Lannister and Makak from Baratheon. And I will be streaming that, and this opportunity, if you're watching the live stream here, I would also like to invite you to the Champions of Westeros final that is tomorrow evening, European time. So there will be some 8 Regents games from the other teams played at the same time, but I'll be streaming the Champions of Westeros at what is it, 9:30 in the evening, and that's GMT +2, and Argento and Robert Charvat are playing, so that should be a really good game, and I hope we'll get some audience for that one as well. So thanks for joining me today, and hopefully see you all tomorrow.